My dad expected millions. He got nothing. I've been carrying a secret about my father, for longer than I'd like to admit. Not the kind of secret you can just casually bring up over dinner. Not the kind you can ease into. The kind that sits in your chest, quietly, getting heavier over time. And the worst part? It could change his entire life. And I chose not to tell him. It all really started when I was 16. That was the year my mom died. Before that, our home felt steady. Predictable, in the best way. She had this way of making even ordinary days feel warm. Like nothing truly bad could touch us. I remember the sound of her footsteps in the kitchen early in the morning. The soft hum of music while she cooked. The way she'd check in on me, even when she was clearly exhausted. And then, one day, all of that just stopped. The silence that followed was overwhelming. The house didn't feel like a home anymore. It felt like a place we were just existing in. My dad changed after that. He became distant. Quieter. Like a part of him had shut down completely. And I don't blame him. But I think, that's also when we started drifting apart. 2 years later, he remarried. I remember the exact moment I met her. She walked into the room with this perfectly practiced smile. Friendly, polite, almost too perfect. And I remember thinking, something isn't right. I tried to ignore that feeling. I told myself I was being unfair. That I just missed my mom. So I tried. I really did try to accept her. But every conversation felt rehearsed. Every interaction felt like she was playing a role, instead of just being herself. My grandparents didn't even pretend. They hated her. From day one. No slow build-up. No second chances. Just immediate rejection. And time didn't fix it. If anything, it made things worse. Even after my half-siblings were born, nothing really softened. Family gatherings were tense. Conversations felt forced. There was always something unspoken, hanging in the air. Now, here's where things start to matter. My grandparents are very wealthy. And my dad. He's been counting on that money for a long time. At first, it was subtle. Little comments about the future. Jokes about how everything would work itself out. But over the years, it became more obvious. He started spending differently. More freely. Less carefully. I remember one specific moment. He was sitting in the living room, looking over some bills. I asked him if everything was okay. He smiled. Almost too quickly. Yeah, he said. I'm not worried. And then he added something that stuck with me. Honestly. I don't really need to be. At the time, I didn't fully understand what he meant. But later. I did. He was counting on the inheritance. Not just hoping for it. Depending on it. Last Saturday, everything changed. I was at my grandparents' house, sitting in my grandfather's study. It was quiet. Too quiet. The kind of quiet where you know something important is about to happen. He looked at me, serious, but calm. And then he told me. Most of their estate would go to me. Not my dad. Me. I remember just staring at him, waiting for him to correct himself. But he didn't. He explained it like it was already settled. Final. My dad would receive $50,000. Just enough to prevent him from contesting the will. That was it. I felt shocked. Not excited. Not relieved. Just overwhelmed. Because I immediately understood what this meant. And then came the part that made everything worse. They made me promise that I wouldn't give my father any of that money. No matter what happened later. no matter what he asked. And I said yes. I don't even remember thinking about it. I just said yes. But after that, something changed inside me. Because now I knew something he didn't. Something that affected everything about his future. And then I found out something else. He was in debt. Not small debt. The kind that doesn't just go away. That's when the guilt really started to settle in. Every time he talked about plans. Every time he spent money without hesitation. I felt it. That weight in my chest. Because I knew. There was no backup plan. For a while, I didn't know what to do. Do I tell him? Do I stay quiet? Do I break my promise? Eventually, I talked to my grandparents. I told them everything. How this was putting me in an impossible position. How it could destroy what little stability we had left as a family. To my surprise, they listened. Really listened. And they agreed to a family meeting. That day felt heavy from the start. We were all sitting at the same table. My dad. His wife. My grandparents. Their lawyer. And me. No one was relaxed. No one was smiling. Deep down, I hoped something would change. That maybe, just maybe, they would reconsider. But they didn't. When the lawyer explained everything, the reaction was immediate. My stepmother broke down crying. Loud. Dramatic. Almost overwhelming. It filled the entire room. I glanced at my grandmother. She looked furious. Like she was holding herself back from saying something she wouldn't take back. And my dad? He just sat there. Still. Processing. Then he said something I didn't expect. "It's your money," he said quietly. "You can do what you want with it." No anger. No argument. Just acceptance. In the end, they adjusted the terms slightly. 75,000 for my dad. And education funds for my younger siblings. It wasn't what he had planned his life around. But it was something. I thought that would be the end of it. I was wrong. A few days later, my stepmother called me. Her tone was soft at first. Almost friendly. But then, it changed. She started talking about my mom. Saying things she had no right to say. About someone who isn't even here to defend herself. And in that moment, something inside me just snapped. All the doubt. All the guilt. Gone. "If you ever say anything about my mom again," I told her, calm but firm, "I will tell my grandparents everything." Silence. Then the call ended. She hasn't tried that again. My relationship with my dad. It was never perfect. And after all of this, it hasn't really changed. Not better. Not worse. Just distant. But the weight I was carrying, it's lighter now. I still don't know if I made the right choice. I still think about it sometimes. What would have happened if I told him earlier? Would anything be different? But one thing I do know is this. For the first time in a long time, I can finally breathe.